Hello guys, today we're at Absolute Karting on the bottom track. I would highly recommend this if you live around this area. It is such a fun track and it's quite fast. Wasn't the best of sessions at the start because my engine kept on cutting out, as you can see here. I think it goes on about 3 times because it's cold and not warmed up yet. And I'm off again into the first corner. Quickest person is in front of me right now. I came second in this session, about 5/10 behind him, and then third place was a 10th behind me. And it happens again, cutting out. Guy just went past. That guy there is in third place at the end of it. Ashton! Those 2 people came last. So that person that's just been overtaken, that guy in the yellow helmet. Guy going past is in 4th place. As I finally get underway now, I try to warm up the tyres as it is quite a slidey track that night. So I'm trying to get a good lap in. It was very tough to because it was so slidey at that point, but towards the end it gets a lot more grippy. But that car in general was slidey and it didn't have good acceleration. I'm closing up to 4th place, very slowly. Hope we will get some action soon. I'm just hoping it won't be too long from now. This corner is probably the most difficult corner because if you clip that wall, there's a pillar there and you could really hurt yourself. The guy that I'm also coming up to is the slowest person on track. So I'm coming up to him. He's he's sliding quite a bit. I try to look up the inside there. I have to go down the inside into this corner. It's quite dangerous though, because if you time it wrong, you could spin and then they could hit you quite badly. And I'm past, so which is a good thing. And it cuts out, hopefully the last time, I think it is anyway, as I'm shouting for the marshals because they're busy refueling other carts and everything like that. So, and this is hindering my time and it hinders the grip as well. Those marshals are really good down there. They're very nice and everything like that. They are so kind to us. And I'm quite lucky here as well because I have the membership, and I would recommend getting it because it's an absolute bargain. I'm closing up on 3rd place here. He is quicker than me throughout most of the session, but I think I nipped him right at the end. There's a ramp there. It's actually the full track down ramp. It's a very good track layout and it's quite fun to drive on, but it is quite technical and everything like that. So if you ever wanted to do it, you have to be an adult, I'm pretty sure, and I'm not an adult, but it's only because I have a membership I'm able to do it. I'll just take you through a lap when we get to the end of this. I'll show you what to do. So here we come through the last corner. You want to flick it right, don't brake, just lift off the throttle, keep it tight as you can. So I slide through there though. I keep that wide, hug the barrier and keep it tight through here. Try not to clip that wall because it'll hinder your lap time, and keep it tight through there so you can, because if you don't you compromise your exit, and that bit you go left right quickly and brake tiny bit, and that's a lap of the bottom track. The guy in first is a very aggressive driver. He bumps people out of the way, as I have experienced with him in multiple occasions. I think I'm starting to get close to other drivers now, hopefully. As the person in last is holding up third place quite a bit, so I'm able to get really close to them. Look how much I'm gaining through the corners and on the straights for them fighting together quite hard, and he just completely goes into the barrier, which is quite silly because there's clearly a wall there. Now I'm right behind third place, which is really good. At this point I think he was quicker than me as well. He doesn't have the best line through there because he's got a very slidey driving style, as you could quite see, and I tap him very slightly because he's quite an early braker there and I'm fairly late, so I don't use the brake that much there. So he clips the wall there. Look how much quicker I am through that section. He compromises his speed a lot trying to slow down into that corner and brake in early, which isn't the most effective thing unless it depends on the grip and everything like that. Like, I think I'm about to tap him. I get pretty close, but I don't seem to, so that's alright. That's the aggressive driver. Just bumps me out the way. It's stupid. There was no space there as well. Just forces me out wide. But you've got to respect it because he's in the adult cart and everything, and he's probably a much heavier than me because the carts are a lot heavier as well, and he's a lot bigger than me. You can see I dropped off because I had bent the front axle, so I was struggling to get back up to grips and pace, but I do eventually close back up to the other drivers. As they're battling on, I'm getting closer each time. I think he looks up the inside here. It doesn't work, but the acceleration on the adult carts is so much better. So that he's quite lucky in that case. They go side by side through there. I almost go T-bone him. So now I'm right up behind the car in front. This track, I would have to say, it's a solid 8 out of 10 because it's so fast. I know it doesn't look too fast on this camera, but when you're in the cart and you're trying to go max pace, it's unbelievably fast. First and last getting overtaken again. Not surprised there because he wasn't really good like I am. And the others doing this session as well. Just trying to suss out where this guy's weaknesses is, where they are, and maybe have a look at the inside or outside, something like that, or do the switchback. Well, he's slowest through this bit there, as you can see, because I gained so much time, and through there as well, but I get caught up because I clip the wall. Here he has a very stern defence because he keeps it in the middle of the track, which is very hard to overtake on here because it's not the widest of tracks. It does look pretty wide on the camera though, which I can't lie about. So I start slowing down here because the attraction for him is quite good, and he's also got a much better kart because I'm not sure if I can see it. I think there's 22 there. 22 is the best kart, absolute karting by far, and I'm in an average kart. I would say the best kart is probably 33 and then 22. So if you ever go down there, I would recommend asking for them if they allow you to. I lose quite a bit of time there because I just completely zone out and I'm not even under control of the car because it was slow. So not really much is happening at the moment. I think some action which will hopefully happen soon. Just trying to follow this guy, see where I'm slower and try and improve on my lap time and see where he's quicker than me. All the pack is started to come together behind the guy in last. I think the guy in first has just overtaken him. Yeah, he has. So he's so much slower than most of us, as I've mentioned. He hasn't probably done the race course and got membership and everything and got really good at karting, unlike us guys. So he's just letting everybody by because he knows he's not as quick as us. It's starting to form a bit of a train. We're starting to get on the guy in fourth. He's probably about 2/10 slower than us. He's got his engine cuts out, so because you'll see that next lap. So he's just pulled over for meanwhile and should get back up to speed again. I'm right behind this guy in 22 as well, so I'm able to hopefully suss out a move on him. I think he was just letting us past. Oh, I'm mistaken, and there was another lap that his engine cut out. We'll see it shortly as well. The most difficult part of the track is probably that corner that we've just done, not that bit, when you go round that hairpin, long, wide hairpin. This bit, and I'll just show you the next bit in case you got a bit confused. This bit coming up is probably the most difficult place to keep the speed in and not clip the wall. Here is fairly easy. This bit's probably the hardest to not clip the wall here, but I clip the wall purposely to try and keep as much straight line as possible, much of a straight line as possible, because if you just take that as if it's like a proper hairpin, oh, there's the guy that's just cut out. So you take it like a proper hairpin, having to brake and then go right, left, just keep it tight like that. You might suss out a move there, or he's just pointed out. It would be rude to go for a move there because he's just slowed down there. And he's getting sorted out. The engine just completely stopped, I think. Coming up to 5th place again. Very daredevil move. quite a dangerous one as well, because if you get that wrong, it's going to be a bad day. You can really get hurt, as I've had experience with that before. I drop off again here slightly, but I do eventually get past him. This guy in front of me is probably the closest person in the kid cars to me. We always have fun, we have great battles and everything, and we help each other to get as quick as possible. He is slightly younger than me though. Also, I will hopefully show you another time the top track. It is much better than this. It's so short as well. I've got the record there in any time of the year. It was in December when the track is at its coldest. I got 13.125 seconds. It is unbelievably fast, but I was lucky to have the fastest car as well. But it's not the fastest car anymore. It broke. This guy has a camera as well, but it doesn't, but I'm not sure which one it is, and it's definitely not high quality like mine, because, well, mine's a GoPro Hero 8 and that doesn't look too good, from what I think anyway. That's my opinion on it. I know that Team Sport it is a lot better than Absolute, because Absolute have only got 3 or 4, I can't remember how many tracks there are in the UK, but basically not as much as Team Sport. So I'm trying to get a move for it here. He lets us pass. I'd look up for the outside move, but it wasn't the best of ideas, clearly, because I got boxed in by the barrier, the driver in front, and this guy here on the right. But I know that I have an opportunity to get past him and get quicker. So I sort of look for a move here. I try and go for the switchback. I'm not too sure if he let us pass. I'm not 100% sure. It looks like it, but I think he had a problem with his car. I think he did, anyway. Let's carry on going. I don't think he did. I think he was just letting me past. Quite hard to get action on here, because basically it's just difficult to get action, considering that it's quite spread out and there's not as many people in there. Whereas if I had like just a normal session with barely any spaces, so I put this one and there were 5 spaces out of 7, so that's plenty of space. So usually I would just book it for myself and it would be full, so I'm quite lucky in that case if it was full, because in this one not really, because then I can't get as much action. But with the ones that are full, there are likely to be a lot slower drivers, so I have to be quite careful of them, because if I misplace something I could really hurt them or something like that. So they're quite, like, rookie drivers are quite unpredictable, whereas, well, membership drivers are unpredictable in some ways, but not like in terms of racing lines and braking zones and everything like that. They're unpredictable in defending and overtaking and where to place the car. I make a mistake and clip the wall there. Coming right up behind this guy, and he supports Lewis Hamilton. Well, that's what I think. He has a Still Our Eyes custom Hamilton helmet, so well, he bought it off the internet probably. As I look up the inside, oh, it's going to be tight. I just have to squeeze him out, and I think he left me enough for him, and I left him enough for him, as we have mutual respect for each other, and we carry on sailing through other cars. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, by the way. I would appreciate it if I could have a lot of support, as I'm trying to grow this channel as much as I can. So I'm just coming around this corner, and don't know what he's doing there, but it may not look like it, but from my point of view, and I've put the GoPro settings so it's a wide angle, and that was actually really close in real life. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. It was a great track. I would highly recommend it, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.